done. And so this kind of activism, let me tell you, it will work, it will help, but you gotta be, it's not easy because you gotta be persistent, right? And you gotta speak with one voice. You can't have, well, you can't tell me to do one of three things. Tell me to do one thing. You know, you can say do these one, two, three, four, five things, but don't say do this or that. Say do this, bam, right? And that makes it a lot easier. Because it's hard for us as policymakers when you say, when one group from the Oromo community comes in and says, we want you to do X. And then 5 minutes later, another group comes in and says, no, not X, Y. Then I'm like, I don't know what to do, right? So be clear, and that means you're gonna have to get in a room and argue it out until you come to a point of agreement. And that's okay, it's okay to argue. Argue's better than fighting, right? But come up with a clear agenda and say, here's what we need you to do. But make sure you do it on the domestic front. Make sure you do it on the international front. But just remember too that, you know, there's a lot of Oromo kids getting up in the morning going to Minneapolis public schools every day, right? What do their classmates know about Oromia? Not much. Can there be a day where the students study Oromia? The land, the food, the clothing, the history, the culture. It wouldn't just make the Oromo kids feel more included. It would tell the other kids something more about the story of the Oromo people. It would make the Oromo struggle more fully fleshed and would have people be more sympathetic. Does this make sense to anybody? Yes. So what about if you could go to the school board? There's about to be a man of East African birth on the school board. Who knows Hussein Samatar, Somali guy, right? And say, look here, man, you come from the same neighborhood as we do. You got to be a voice for East African issues. And he'll do it. And he'll tell his fellow members, look, we need to have a day, like a day where we can focus on the heritage of all of the children who go to Minneapolis public schools. You start doing these things, and then people notice you, they recognize you, and then I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Somebody from the Oromo community is going to say, you know what? I was down at the school board, and I can do what those people do. I'm running. Right? You go down to the state legislature and say, I can do what those people do. I'm going to run. You come to the U.S. Capitol and you recognize, you know, hey, I can do what Keith does, and then I'm going to have an opponent. but that's okay, because you know what? That's what democracy is all about. You know what I mean? So that's my best answer to that question.
I just wanted to walk away knowing that, as far as I'm concerned, a lot of people in this room are concerned. Ethiopian terror is one of the most atrocious people. If there is such a thing as a war criminal, he's no less. If he's not just perpetrator of the genocide. And also, you talk a lot about Oromo shooting out there. And I also want you to walk away knowing that there are a lot of families who are separated because of the immigration system.
Immigration.
There are some still languishing in refugee camps in East African countries. Others left behind. They can't come here. And also, those of us who got here, there are a lot of people who are struggling through the asylum system, whose asylum is being held up because the U.S. government categorizes the Oromo Liberation Front as a paramilitary terrorist organization. So if you could just address that.
Can I just add real quick? Sorry, we'll get you out of here in time. And also, as you know, you met a couple of weeks ago with some of the Oromo community leadership. They requested to help arrange a hearing on Oromo human rights issues in the United States, representing U.S. House of Representatives. How feasible is their request, and how do you help us push that along? I know you said write it and bring it up, but
So let me tell you, since the last, those are both excellent points. Since the last time we met, There's a group called the Tom Lantos Human Rights Commission, which is a commission within the U.S. Congress. I have forwarded a letter to the commission saying there's got to be a focus at a hearing on human rights abuses against Oromos. So but we can't do that until we come back and say January. So it might because Congress is really, we're not actually there. I'm here, right? And everybody else is here. So until Congress kind of reconvenes in Washington, which will be for a very short, for about a few weeks in November, but then we're going to come back for real in January, then we'll probably do it. I need your support. If you write me letters saying, Keith, we need this hearing for the Tom Lantos Human Rights Commission on Oromo issues, this is something I'm confident we can get done. So there's that issue. So that's something we're working on. That's cooking on the pot right now. The other thing is, that, and this is very important, the immigration is one of the issues that I really need your help on. I am for comprehensive immigration reform that puts family reunification at the center of the bill. That's what I believe should be there. There are other things as well. If somebody is here who is out of status, then I think they need to get in status, and there should be steps for them to do it. And if they got to pay back taxes or whatever, they have to do that. But I will say this to you, and I hope you're not offended as I say this to you, because our relationship's based on honesty, right? The Latino community has been carrying the heavy load in the immigration fight. We need more East African faces. Okay? You mad that I told you that? Yeah. Okay, you're not mad about it? Okay. Okay, good. So I want to encourage you to continue to stand with people from Mexico and other places saying we need immigration reform. I'm telling you that Africans immigrating to America need immigration reform. We got all kind of problems with the Liberians. They're on something called temporary protective status. Every year we got to go through a big fight so they're not all deported back. And I'm telling you, there's a lot of issues with Oromo as well. And so please, let's work together. If you have a case that you need me to work on, you call my office and we'll work on the case. I cannot guarantee you a good outcome all the time, but I can tell you that we win a lot. Okay? So nothing beats a failure but a try. Right? So let's get together and try to get these cases dealt with. And between now and then, we're going to work on getting a big bill. I don't know if I hit every point you made. But let me just tell you, if there's a human rights abuser coming from Ethiopia, you got to let me know, because I don't know the landscape like you know the landscape. I do know that I've met with Ethiopian groups, and some of them tell me that they got problems with these guys too. Yeah. You know, and so it's something that there's common ground on. And you know, the truth is, as the United States has looked for partners in the war on terror, right? Certain countries have said we'll help, but some of those same countries are abusing their population. Yeah. So this is the thing. You know, it used to be that if you said you're against communism, anything you did to your own population was okay. Well, we can't let our country slip into that. There's going to have to be accountability. So what I'm saying to you is that, look, I'm not anti-Ethiopia, right? But I am anti-human rights abuses. And if there's human rights abuses and there's human rights abusers, we'll hold them accountable. But I need you and I to be working in partnership together. God told me, everybody.